Where last one you live? Okay, is it in Baton Rouge or Lynn? Do they currently use respite reimbursement? Okay, this is the application for you, and she's gonna go through it today. Miss Gwen? Yes, does your mom currently, you know, you live in East Baton Rouge? Okay, sure, this is the application she's gonna go through today.
He's the dancer.
What is all of it?
Don't get her started.
Did you go to my health fair?
But like I said, if he hasn't had a bath in a while.
Yeah, the roots.
I know they're short handed. And there's some girls that come home and start. I've got the camera.
That's what I gotta do next.
And.
Well, that's great. I took the application that she's gonna go through today.
Appreciate it. Thank you for the diagnosis.
Absolutely. Now that I know your preference, I can have it there.
But then there's others like, no, I'm not gonna do it.
So he was sitting where he's in the dark. Two games were sitting in chairs next to the big TV. They're not.
It's only night hours. What time is it?
Good. About 4 to 8.
It's supposed to be going together.
Yeah. Well, there were 4 cars in the parking lot. One Valkyrie, 2 A's. I'm hoping that.
Especially the ones that are. It's an age. It should be.
Introduce you. Oh, hey.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Remember.
Yeah. I gotta go.
Can you hear? Hello. Hello.
We're taking as many as you want. We have all of those to get rid of. So, we had a lunch, like a fundraiser lunch, Rosemary. Yeah.
We're pushing Rosemary.
We had a fundraiser lunch and that's like our thing is rosemary. And so we were giving it away then, and then now we just have a bunch of extras.
Oh, okay.
So
We're pushing Rosemary too.
it needs to go, yeah. Marcia, do you want to, give me some tester language? Just, start talking. I'm gonna make sure I can hear you. Okay.
Okay. I think today you will find the application process for respite reimbursement to be one of the easiest application processes you have ever done. Hey.
I knew you could project.
Look,
It's
this
excellent.
Yankee voice,
It's excellent.
this Yankee voice, I am telling you.
I think the last two folks, they were so soft spoken, people on the audio, on the Zoom. They were having issues hearing.
Oh,
I can project. Marcia can project.
yeah, you
We're gonna be
can.
good.
Yeah.
We're gonna be good.
Absolutely.
If anything, Ms. Marcia, I might scoot you a little bit more out so people can see you better, because I don't think it's gonna be an issue for you. in this
Okay.
area.
All right.
How that is.
And then I can just lean over and do my,
Well, here, we'll move this.
can't see the forest through the trees.
Well, you never know. You don't want to mess it
Well, yeah, I mean, numbers and moving things is not my thing. I'll go the hardest way possible. Yes, I will. I'm so glad you're all here. I'm gonna say that in general, but for our respite reimbursement program. You know, not very many people know about it. And, the truth of the matter is, we want as many people in it as possible.
Came to the tree last year, last spring. They were. You didn't get any before?
I've never been making the Michael's here. Too busy running around. To keep things.
Water, sure, I'm set.
And yesterday. Those are due later. Some of these are due now. I you just have not due, you need, but you do it.
Yeah.
I'm cleaning on the counter and. Done that. Take care of that. Just wait.
Some of it.
They're cracking. Thank you. Even this doesn't work. It's
Yeah,
too small.
That's one of them.
Oh, beautiful.
Well, at least.
Morning. Morning. Yeah, they all found Clark. I'm wearing them.
Yes, ma'am. Why the picture of health?
Finally.
Are you still doing your spin classes?
Yeah, I just spent this morning.
You did?
Yeah. 7:30.
Oh, man. Forever impressed by that.
Me too, Brooke.
I aspire to be that.
I'm gonna get like that.
Your time will come.
For the overflow. Of course.
I think actually what we did, this, Marcia.
I didn't. Thursday.
I'm gonna do short classes, so I'll see how much we agree. Yeah, you don't even have to worry about it.
And with. And going
Until you pass this work. I have in my little script, I call you the. Oh, well, very kind. Thank you, bro.
So,
I'll tell you something. It was a traffic jam. I mean, people from. People were parked. All of it, you know what I said? I said, now, if they, I feel for like this, but it's one event.
oh, good.
Always, always. Hey. You know, sometimes you just crave it. Sometimes you just crave pizza. It's like, you gotta have a.
It's not just a really good thing to have.
I think she was the one that really, I hear it in a lot of these.
Of course, I always justify it. It's got like some green pepper on the top. Loaded up. Thank you. Great. I knew you were gonna say that.
They find us. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And they had, he said,
I'm gonna, talk for the first area. Wanted to take a seat. Pass it off to you.
You go right ahead. Thank you, ma'am. You bet.
brown cover back down. Snakes in here.
All right, it's around 12 o'clock right now, so we're gonna go ahead and get started.
Yeah, I'm normally parked behind the churches.
Welcome, everybody, to our final presentation of Making Sense of Sense for this series. This has been record registration and record attendance for this round of our series, so very, very exciting. So thank y'all all for attending. My name is Brooke. I'm a program coordinator with Alzheimer's Services, and we have some folks on Zoom again. So just some housekeeping for those on Zoom. Our presentation is recorded today and will be posted on our YouTube channel afterwards. And all of your calls will be muted throughout the entire presentation. So if you have a question, just put it in the chat box and we'll read those out towards the end when we have some question and answer time. We have, if you are attending today and you have attended the other two presentations in this series, then you're eligible to receive a free consultation with an elder law attorney. And you will also get a copy of this textbook, which is called Get It Together. And it is a guide to organizing all of your financial documents and all of those things. So for those of y'all who have completed all 3 sessions, I'm going to email y'all today and then work out how to get this to you and to give you the contact names for the 3 participating elder law attorneys. Also, for everybody who did any of the events in this series, I will be emailing out different references and then also an evaluation today. And we welcome any of your feedback. So those in person, we don't have an evaluation for you at your table. I'm going to email it to you today. So today we are obviously focusing on respite reimbursement, and we have the respite reimbursement guru, Ms. Marcia Kirk, here today. I'm going to talk a little bit about her, introduce her, and then I'm going to start the presentation for us. So Miss Marcia Kirk, some of y'all have met her. She's sitting in the back over here. She is our respite center assistant for Charlie's Place. So any families that know Charlie's Place here, then you're familiar with Miss Marcia. She first joined Alzheimer's Services staff in August of 2010. So she is a very well-loved staff member here. She worked before coming here with deaf and special needs students for over 40 years. And in her retirement, started working here at Charlie's Place. She chose Charlie Place after her teaching because of her experience helping her care for her dad who had dementia. She is a qualified dementia care provider and leads our respite reimbursement program. So she is the person to go for this. So I'm very excited that she is going through this for us today. So before she dives into the nitty gritty about all of respite reimbursement, I'm going to set the foundation for us and talk about what is respite. So respite is defined as a short term or a short period of rest or relief from something difficult. In the context of dementia caregiving, we define respite as taking a short break from your day-to-day caregiving responsibilities. As y'all know, usually this is done by having another person step into that role as a caregiver temporarily. And usually that is done by a sitter or a professional caregiver. So a little bit of history about our respite reimbursement program. We at Alzheimer's Services speak with families every single day, and we understand the financial burden of hiring a professional caregiver or sitter. It's very expensive, and many times caregivers forego getting additional help simply because of the cost. The cost is too much of a burden that the caregiver will choose to continue on their own. We first presented this program to caregivers over 20 years ago to help encourage caregiver respite. So we want to encourage the caregivers to take some time to care for themselves as well. And we can do that in a lot of ways, but one of those ways is financially. So this program, it has a funding of a maximum of $600 a year. Whenever I talk about this to families, I say it's not a lot, but every penny counts. And if that's something that can help you a few hours a month to get to the doctor, to sit in quiet, then it's worth it. We receive funding for this program from the Capital Area Agency on Aging, Alzheimer's Foundation of America, the William Edwin Montana Trust, and donor funds to our organization. This is a really interesting fact. We are currently assisting about 60 families with this program, and we have the ability within our current funding to assist about 133 families. So we are currently underutilizing this program, and we would really like to max it out and help as many families as possible. So we can do that by having this presentation, getting as many of y'all that are attending today enrolled in the program, and also you sharing it with any other dementia caregivers that you know of. So Marcia is going to take over now and kind of go through all of the respite reimbursement specifics. I'm so glad that y'all joined us today. Absolutely.
That was really nice. Thank you so much. All right, folks, thank you, as Brooke said, for your interest in respite reimbursement. It really means a lot to us to get the word out there. And we're just going to start with eligibility. How are you eligible for our program? You must be a caregiver of a loved one who has been diagnosed with some form of dementia. That can be Alzheimer's, Lewy body, frontotemporal, vascular. That loved one has to have a diagnosis of dementia. Now, and that loved one must be living in your house or in their own home. Now, the only time that you would not be eligible is when your loved one has made that transition into a nursing facility or some type of assisted living, then we cannot provide respite reimbursement. But hospice, so many people have hospice. That is fine. We don't care. If you are paying for a sitter out of pocket, you qualify for respite reimbursement. So we're looking at the long-term care benefits. We're not sure about that right now. Things have changed since the pandemic. So we're looking at that. And so Brooke, I think we can move on. They see there you go. All right. All right, here we go. The application process. We do have different forms for different parishes, and we'll talk about those. All right, this is the general application. If you're within East Baton Rouge or Livingston Parish, you have 3 pages. So we'll start right now. This is the enrollment application. And as I say, folks, you're going to find this to be one of the most simple applications you've ever done. The top part of the application is the client. That's the care recipient. That is your loved one. Okay, Brooke. Then we come down to the family caregiver information. And that's you. That's you. Anybody who puts their name on that bottom line, relationship to patient, that's who's going to get the check. That's one that's going to get the check. This is the all-important physician statement. We require a physician's signature on this statement or one of their pieces of paper, you know, a prescription form or something that verifies that your loved one does have some form of dementia. And I will tell you folks that the doctor's offices are so busy. They're usually pretty good about getting the physician statement back to you. But if you don't get it in a timely amount of time, feel free to persevere. Most of our caregivers will go to the doctor's office to pick up the physician statement. And I'll tell you why. We prefer that when you complete your application packet, that you keep everything together so that we're not getting the physician statement from one place. So just keep everything together once you get that physician statement. All right, kiddo. This page simply says, hey, I understand the program. I know what you're talking about. And there are 2 places to check on that form. Charlie's Place Respite Center, that's where I work. But you all will check Caregiver Respite Reimbursement Program. And Brooke, I think this is a good time to kind of help you navigate that $600 per year that you can get from the Respite Reimbursement Program. Now, we can give you up to $100 a month until you reach that $600 limit. Now, I have one caregiver. She may send me a receipt form for $80 one month, $30 the next month, $65, and that's fine. She said to me one day, she said, you know, Miss Marcia, I just give the sitter what I can. So we do not require anything, just up to $100. Some of our folks will skip months. You may go on vacation. We don't care. That is absolutely fine. I love this one, and I just got her receipt form today. We have one caregiver. She pays her grandchildren $5 a month to sit with pops. So, it's up to you, whoever your sitter is. The sitter just can't be you, okay? All right. The key to remember, folks, is up to $100 a month. Well, then what? You say, I've hit my $600, what do I do? All right, there is a requirement that you sit out of the program for 6 months to give new people a chance to come into the program. Now, when your 6 months is over, I will send you a brand new formal welcome letter back to the program. And after that hiatus, you get a new $600. Isn't that nice? All right, and folks, you do not have to remember. I have my beloved purple book. In my purple book, I have the date that I sent you the closure letter. I have your name, and I have the date when you will re-enroll. You do not have to remember. I will send you that formal welcome letter back into the program. And folks, I'm going to tell you right now some good news. In the about 11 years that I've been doing the respite reimbursement program, I have never had to inform a caregiver that we're out of it. Never, never. So that is really, really good news. We've never had to inform anybody that we have no funds. Okay, Brooke. Okay. It's not the end of the application process for our folks out of East Baton Rouge and Livingston Parish. In all the outlying parishes, you have a few additional forms. Our East Baton Rouge, Livingston Parish, you've got the enrollment form, the checkoff that I understand the program, the physician statement. Now, the funding agency that funds the outlying parishes, here we go. 5 pages. The top part of this page, don't worry about it. That's either me or a social worker. Now, in section B, this is pretty much general information. What language is spoken, who is the qualifying individual. That's pretty easy. Okay, Brooke. And this is again, just to check off, read the statement, check off, is the client an older individual in great social needs? Sure, check that off. I love down here, I don't know why this is on there, directions to the home of the qualifying individual. Anyway, I had a really slick social worker send me an application a couple of months ago, and I love it. Directions to the home of the qualifying individual. She said, available by GPS. And I said, well, you know what? I like that. That works for me. So these pages, folks, pretty understandable. Okay, Brooke. All right, here we go. There are 3 pages. And again, this one is, you know, kind of just, is the caregiver employed at all, part-time? These are kind of general statements, pretty easy. All right. Now, then we have something called the caregiver stress interview, 3 pages. And here's what I want you to know right now if you are outside East Baton Rouge and Livingston. Do not agonize over this stress interview or you will be stressed. All right. It is not a test. There's no right or wrong answer. The funding agency just needs to get a picture of the caregiver, and not you in particular, just caregivers in general, how they're feeling. Now, I will tell you something. If I was doing this back when I was caring for my dad had Alzheimer's. And he was also diagnosed with psychosis and severe behavioral disorders. Now, the columns are never, rarely, sometimes, quite frequently, nearly always. Folks, I would have never been below quite frequently and always. So what I'm getting at is do not agonize over this. Read your question and whatever pops into your mind, first check it. Don't second guess your answers. Just check, 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 and you'll be fine. Okay, Brooke. It looks overwhelming, but if you go by my advice, just read the question first thing that pops into your mind, check it off. All right. Okay. Now, all that being said, your application is complete. Whether you're the 5-page from the outlying parishes, the 3-page people from East Baton Rouge. All right. That application comes into my little hands that same day or within 1 or 2 days. I am going to send you a formal welcome letter to the program and your first blank sitter receipt form that you will do every month. All right. Okay, Brooke. And there it is, the blank sitter receipt form. Again, now folks, your first few times of navigating the sitter receipt form, you may have questions, call me. I'm here, call me anytime. And I'll just run through it with you real quickly. The date of service, the number of hours on that date that your sitter sat with your loved one. What was the cost of service? Was it maybe $10 an hour, $15 an hour? And then folks, I want to focus a little bit on the name, address, phone for the sitter and the signature of the sitter or the personal care attendant. Please assure your sitters that this money is not tied to the IRS at all. It is not tax. What we like to call it here at Alzheimer's Services, this is free money. Because often the sitters will ask, and I really don't blame them, if there's any attachment to the IRS. And also, even though we have to have their information, it goes nowhere else. It goes nowhere else. If you are outside East Baton Rouge and Livingston, you have a green folder. That sitter information goes in that green folder too. If you're in East Baton Rouge and Livingston, you have a brown folder. All that information goes in that folder. All right. Let's see if there's anything. Yeah, this is free money. And of course, and also folks, I like to remind everyone to fill out completely. It really helps us, especially this bottom part where your name is, your address, your city, state, or in zip. That means then that I don't have to go back through the folder and find your address and everything. That really does help. Okay. And approval, same day. Same day. I try to get your information out and everything same day. All right. And then your next question is going to be, hey, how do I get the check? And when do I get the check? All right. As soon as our accountant gets the checks to me, I send them to you. And in that envelope with your check is going to be a new blank sitter receipt form for the next month. So you don't have to scrounge around and see if you can find one. And also, just a little form that tells you how much money you have left. So you don't have to think, oh my gosh, how much money? I know I used 80, I used 60, how much? This will be in with your check. And the way I ask our accountant for your check is every month, I send our accountant a purple sitter request form for the checks. He gets those. He sends the checks to me. I send the checks to you. All right. Right? Okay. Oh, we got some questions coming. Great. So you're going to have questions, like I said. Please feel free to call me. We will run you through anything. And as I was telling some of the folks earlier, folks, these agencies have to get rid of their money. They cannot keep money on hand. So please do, I reiterate what Brooke said. Please do tell family, friends who weren't here today about the program. Because, as I say, they have to get rid of the money, and we're glad to get rid of it. So that's just a general overall of respite reimbursement. Very simple process. And we're here to walk you through it if you need it. All right.
Do you want me, did you answer all of these questions?
Oh, let's see.
Brooke, I can read them off to you.
Sure.
And we have some more in the chat that we can go.
All right.
Can respite reimbursement funds be used towards care facility costs?
No, that's right.
Is there a low income eligibility?
None.
How should I submit the application or receipt? I get this question a lot of, should I drive by and come get it, or?
That's a good question. I always tell our caregivers what's best for you. If you can't get out, if you, especially the receipts, fax it to me, email it to me, drop it by, just whatever works best for you. Okay?
And I think you mentioned this. Are these records filed with the IRS?
Oh, no, please assure your caregivers or your sitters, no, not at all. Free money.
Should my doctor fax Alzheimer's services directly?
Honestly, folks, I would rather he didn't. As I said earlier, it is more efficient if we get the entire packet at the same time.
Can the sitter be a family member?
Sure. As I had mentioned to you about the lady who I just got her form today, she pays her grandchildren $5 an hour to sit in the box. So certainly, it just cannot be you. Because you are the caregiver, and this program is helping you to maybe go have lunch with friends or do something for yourself.
Okay, and then I have some questions back here that I'm gonna read to you.
Okay.
Someone asked if you can reiterate the monthly cap. She said she currently spends about $1,200 a month on sitters.
The monthly cap is 100. We wish it was more, but our monthly cap is 100.
How does this grant money affect the client's tax reporting? Is it reportable income?
None. It is free money. It is not reported at all.
Can you talk more about how respite reimbursement can be used towards Charlie's Place?
Oh, wow.
I know that one.
Do you know that one, Brooke? Because really, I don't.
Yes. So, Charlie's Place normally costs $65 a day. With this, program respite reimbursement, it can knock it down to $50 a day. So some respite reimbursement chart costs can be, that funding can be allocated towards your cost for Charlie Place. But I will also say that no family is ever turned away from Charlie's Place if cost is the only thing keeping that person out of Charlie's Place.
Thanks.
Sorry, I'm like yelling. I want to make sure they catch me.
Well, thanks for that.
Okay, there's another comment in here. In Bossier City, the Council on Aging provides 8 hours of sitters a month. Is this done with the same funding or is it a separate program? That was left by a person that in attendance. So Bossier is out of our service area, so that would be a different program, but that is wonderful that they do
Yeah.
that.
Wow.
Our council on aging within our service area, to my knowledge, none of them provide funding, for sitters. Another question, what is the best way to reach Marcia in case we have questions about respite reimbursement?
What is the best way to reach me? But just our general
Call
number?
in the main number, yeah.
Yeah, just call our main number and anybody will shoot the question right to me. And by the way, I'm a stickler. If I get a call from you, you are gonna get a call from me right away. You're not gonna have to wait. Hey, before my dad got Alzheimer's, he taught me that.
I'm putting I put the phone number in the chat.
Oh, good.
Another question,
Oh, good. There it is.
does the caregiver have to be from an agency?
Oh,
Or
no.
someone that has any
No.
qualifications like that?
Not at all. For example, the lady who uses her grandchildren at $5 an hour to sit with Pops. I have had caregivers pay a neighbor to come in to sit with their loved ones. So no, they do not have to be an agency at all.
Another question, and then we can kind of open it to anybody in the room here. If I need a sitter and don't know how to find one, can you help me with it?
Excuse me?
I can.
I can certainly direct you to none other than Brooke. And yes, and Brooke is the one who you would talk to about finding. You are Ellen, right?
Yes, we have a list of in-home care provider agencies that we can. send
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, either Brooke or Ellen. Absolutely, same number.
Anybody in the room, any questions?
You have time to do this with everything you do in Charlie's Place.
Interesting Hey, I find time. I find time. I really do, because it's just such a wonderful program. And you know, when you do something like this long enough, you kind of get a pace. So, yeah.
Okay, anybody else have any questions? All right, well, I can, scoot up there and kind of close this out. Ms.
You
Marcia.
sure can. You certainly may.
So, for anybody in person and for everybody on Zoom, for those in person, I have the applications here in person if y'all wanted to grab those. And then for anybody on Zoom, in my follow-up email, I'm going to be attaching both the EBR and Livingston application and the other parishes application. So you'll have those attached as well as an evaluation. So I just wanted to say one more time, thank you so much for attending our Making Sense of Sense series. Myself, as well as Ellen, who is our program director, as well as our other program coordinator, Sherelle Parker. We are so happy to help anybody that has any questions along your dementia care journey. That is exactly what we're here for, and I'm happy to help anybody. So, yes, ma'am.
Who's watching online wants to know, if he has to come by here to pick up the workbook.
No, either you can come by here to pick up the workbook or I can mail it to you, whichever you would prefer. So, whenever I send that email out, to all of the people that attended all three, you can respond to me directly how you would prefer us to send it to you. Any other questions? All right, well, we'll go ahead and close it out. Thank you, everybody, for attending.
Thank you, everybody from Marcia.